Hello and welcome to OC Spotlight on Channel 39. I'm your host, Lane Habal. On today's showcase, we have a very special guest live in our studio. It's choreographer Tim Stevenson. Thank you, Tim, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, what specific style of choreography do you do?
I do a lot of things. Character, I do hip hop, sometimes jazz. I basically just organize whatever project I'm doing and characterize what I need for that particular artist or company.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So where do you get your inspiration from?
Inspiration comes from a lot of things. It could be other arts, other artists, just movement in general. I just kind of draw and set pictures, and in my mind, I will create something based off of what I think is that picture should be.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of that, have you choreographed for any celebrities?
I have. I've been very, very fortunate. I worked with people from Jennifer Lopez, Usher, Jody Messina. Right now, my artist, Skylar Stecker, she's a 13-year-old phenom that's blowing up right now, kind of all over the map. But I've had a lot of success, and I'm continuing to do that as well now.
Wow, those are some pretty big names. So, what has been your favorite job?
My favorite job was touring with Jennifer Lopez. We did an international tour. We were stationed in London. We flew all over Europe, so we were in Spain and France, and we did a show for the troops at Ramstein Air Force Base after 9/11. So that was really, really cool to be there and see the troops, and they were actually doing ration bombings, well, not ration bombings, ration droppings, I should say. You don't bomb rations, you drop them. So, but they would fly the B-1 bombers from there, like Kid Rock and Ja Rule would be in the plane, and they would go do the droppings and come back, and we got to see them pull up these big, massive planes.
Oh, wow.
So it was really, really cool, just to be there and kind of support the troops after that time.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is the most important thing about choreography?
The most important thing the choreographer can do is make the artist look good, number one. You make the artist look good, and you're pretty much done. So in doing that, you will stage and choreograph dancers and make them look good. They're basically the fluff around the artist. So whatever they do has to complement what the artist is doing. So it's important, though, without a doubt, to let the artist shine in particular job.
Yeah, that's what you're saying is totally right. It's about the art, it's not about you.
Right.
That's how it all goes.
Absolutely.
So, can you tell us a little bit, how did you start as a choreographer?
Actually, I started assisting other choreographers. I was a dancer, I was on tour a lot, and sometimes choreographers will ask you to do steps, because, they see what you've done, or you're freestyling or doing some things and they like your flavor, so you learn the steps from them. And then pretty soon they're asking you to assist, they're asking you to do steps. A lot of times they can't do multiple jobs, so then they'll say, can you do this job for me? Because I trust what you do as a choreographer, and then you start building your own reel, and then you become an entity of your own. Yeah.
So it's always about you starting, and then from that, you get to assist other choreographers, and from there, you get to build your steps up.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow, that's very nice. Yeah. I can say that's how it works for most of the entertainment business.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, we have to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back in a minute with our guest, Tim Stevenson. So make sure you don't flip the channel and stay tuned right here with us.
It's all about giving you guys familiarity with this equipment so that you can go out and get jobs actually in the field. Hi, my name is Charles Myers, and I'm a professor here at Saddleback College, and I get to teach the film production classes, the one where you actually get to go out and make movies. The reason that we have the latest in high definition technology, the reason that we use industry standard lighting and audio, it's all about giving you guys familiarity with this equipment so that you can go out and get jobs actually in the field.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned through the break. I'm Lane Habal, and this is Tim Stevenson. So, Tim, what do you think of choreography nowadays?
I like choreography nowadays. I think what's happening now is evolved over time, and some of it's actually been redone into the newest music and the latest vibes and trends that are going on in Hollywood right now. But I think it's great. I think people are more expressive. I think they're adding theatrics to their choreography, which I think is important from an audience standpoint to be able to enjoy what you're watching instead of just seeing people just do steps for no reason. They're giving the steps meaning. Yeah.
So speaking of that, I know that you're writing a new book right now. It's called The Tim's Note to Self.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
It's ironically has nothing to do with dance, you know what I mean? But it has to do with, self-reflecting on myself. And things that I had to overcome and obstacles that would happen within the confines of the business and just life in general. But a note to self is not to take yourself too seriously, laugh at the little things in life, and be okay with the things that you can't change. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have a website?
I do.
That people can refer back to see what you are and to see your work?
Absolutely. They can go to moatinc.com. It's moatinc.com, and there I have everything from what I'm doing, the book, the choreography, and then some other surprise things that are coming up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any future plans?
Yes, actually moving into the directing field. I'm creative directing a lot lately, doing some cinematography. So I'm going to be running around the world and, capturing things and doing some documentaries and writing some scripts and things like that as well.
So are those directing for choreography as well, or is it just general directing?
Both. I mean, I have some dance ideas, but as a choreographer, you're just a creative person. So sometimes you just want to create, whether or not it's dance steps or just visuals or visions and things like that.
Wow, now that's a nice shift of going from on camera to behind camera and see how it's like.
Absolutely.
So do you have, what would you like to tell future choreographers?
I would say just follow your dreams. I would say never quit. I would say be creative, think outside the box. It's a big one. And it really doesn't matter how many choreographers there are. You're your own person and you're going to have your own style. Yeah.
Well, looks like that's all the time we have today. And thank you for joining us on this show. But unfortunately, we're out of time. From Saddleback College Studios, I'm Lean Habal, and this has been OC Spotlight.
Hello and welcome to our show. I'm your host, Nick Wynn, from OC Spotlight here on Channel 39 at Saddleback College. For tonight's show, we have a very special guest live in our studio, is Division Chief Appy Weiner of Laguna Beach Fire Department. Thank you for joining, Chief.
Thank you for having me.
So what are the duties of being a Division Chief?
Well, the duties that I'm currently assigned to for the Laguna Beach Fire Department, I'm in charge of the training and the EMS, or the Emergency Medical Services, which would be all the EMTs and all the paramedics and all the equipment that goes with that.
Okay. EMTs, I've heard that all over the place. What does that stand for?
Yeah, so EMT stands for Emergency Medical Technician, and that is the base level of training that, the medical training that people would need to become a firefighter or work on an ambulance.
Okay, so you're in charge of teaching EMTs?
I am. I'm in charge of teaching EMTs for my department.
Yeah. Okay, so I heard that you came back from fighting fires in Northern California, but you're stationed here. Can you tell us about that?
It is interesting. Orange County sent dozens of fire engines and firefighters across the state, primarily up to Northern California earlier this year. When the fires happened in Northern California, they put out that call for help, and the counties down in Southern California, we sent our resources up as quick as we can. So I went up to just outside Sacramento in Calaveras. Okay. I was up there for about 9 days, and I was up there with fire engines from Orange, Newport Beach, Garden Grove, all over.
Wow, okay. So Southern California, there's not very much rain. Is Laguna Beach and all of Orange County in risk of wildfires?
Yeah, all of Orange County is definitely at
Yeah.
risk. Traditionally, the wildfires go from north to south. So Northern California's wildfire season is generally going to be in the summertime period of July, August, and September. And then as the seasonal weather patterns change, Southern California will be more of September, October, November. So we're just now
Oh,
getting
I
in our
see.
wildfire season.
Okay, so when you joined the fire department, did they find you or did you have to go through the reserve?
I actually worked as a reserve firefighter before getting my full-time job as a firefighter for Laguna Beach.
Okay. So in Laguna Beach, there's Bluebird Canyon. With all the mudslides that happen, I've heard it so many times. Is the fire department involved in that?
Well, we're expecting a huge El Nino year this year. Just today, our city ran an emergency operations center drill to prepare for these winter storms so that we don't suffer the same kind of devastation we had back with the Bluebird Canyon slide.
Okay, so how long have you been a firefighter?
I was hired in 1988 as a reserve for the Laguna Beach Fire Department.
Okay, so why did you become a firefighter? It's a tough job.
It is a tough job. It's extremely difficult, extremely challenging, both on your body and on your family. I did it for public service. I enjoy helping people.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I could do something like that. I don't think I'm brave enough to be a firefighter or.
I can't encourage enough people to actually try and become firefighters. It just takes that desire to help people, and clearly maybe a little bit of physical ability.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. More with Chief Appy Warnhart after these messages.
Hi, my name is Charles Myers, and I'm a professor here at Saddleback College. I am actually a believer that our program here at Saddleback is pretty clearly one of the top public colleges, either 4-year or 2-year, in the nation. Hopefully, you'll come in and become part of the history and the legacy and the greatness that is happening here at Saddleback College.
We're back. Thanks for staying tuned through the break. I'm Nick Wynn, and we're talking to Chief Appy Warnhart of Laguna Beach Fire Department. So Chief, you've been a firefighter for over 20 years. Was there anything else that you did before this?
Before I became a full-time firefighter, I also worked several years as a ski patrolman. I did about 8 years as a professional paid ski patrolman in the local mountains. And I did 23 years as a professional ocean lifeguard.
Really, 23 years? Wow, I've wondered about lifeguards. I see them at the beach. What do you have to do to become a lifeguard?
Yeah, I look at them as kind of the unsung heroes in public service. They truly are professionals. What do they need to do? Well, first off, you have to be a great swimmer. And you have to be physically in shape. You're tested annually, if not more often. And you have to have that same kind of desire to serve the public, whether it's putting your life in jeopardy to go save people in a rip current, or it's handing out Band-Aids or answering questions to the public on the beach.
Okay, so in your experience as a lifeguard, what are the dangers that the public face when they're at the beach?
Well, with this warm water we've been having recently, there's been a definite uptick in rip currents, some of the strong water patterns, also with marine life and stingrays and things of that nature. Rip currents would be the number one.
Oh yeah, okay. So in all these years of your public service, what is like your fondest memories of firefighter or lifeguard?
Well, for the fire department, not only did I respond to the LA riots, but we also had a fire on October 27th, 1993 in Laguna Beach, which was devastating, one of the largest fires in United States history. While that was a devastating memory, it's also a fond memory because of all the work that our fire department did to help our citizens.
Wow, that's amazing. So What would you like to say to new firefighters that are just coming in?
Well, I'd like to tell them first, you need to want to serve the public. You need to be in it for the right reasons and have that compassion and humility. That's probably the biggest part about being a firefighter.
Okay. How about a lifeguard?
Lifeguard's much the same, but you also need to keep swimming every day and
Just be in shape.
and definitely be in shape.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us from Saddleback College Studios. I'm Nick Wynn. This has been OC Spotlight with Chief Albie Weinhardt. Thank you for having me.
I'm just in here playing with my friends. It's such a wonderful, wonderful world. It's a wonderful world. I'm just walking on it. Talk of heaven on earth.
Welcome to OC Spotlight on Channel 39 from Saddleback College. My name is Evan Anderson, and we have a very special guest today. She takes the road less traveled, and she's been all around the globe exploring new lands and learning about different cultures. She has just come back from a long trip, and she's here to tell us about her experiences. Please welcome my sister, Sarah Anderson. Sarah, thanks for coming on the show today. Please, where did you just get back from?
Oh, I was working at a summer camp in Russia, and then I was able to go through different parts of Eastern Europe, Turkey, Greece, and then Western Europe.
Nice. What other countries have you been to?
I've been to lots of countries in Asia, China, places like that, Central and South America, North America.
Nice, so you really have kind of hit all around the place there. I like it. Now, before you were this big world traveler, you went to college like the rest of us.
Yes.
So where'd you go to college?
Oh, I graduated from UC Santa Barbara.
And what did you major in?
I studied zoology and dance.
Now, that's a very strange combination.
You gotta stay balanced.
Do you feel as if your majors had any future impact on your potential traveling?
Absolutely. I wasn't able to study abroad because of them, but my senior year I did get to tour China with the Santa Barbara Dance Company, and then I was able to get a job teaching science, which got me experience with kids, and then I was able to teach abroad.
Now, I do know that on the majority of these trips, you don't go for 1 or 2 weeks at a time. You go for a very extended period, 3, 4, 5 months sometimes even. Do you have to get visas wherever you go?
No, it depends on where you go. So most of the European Union kind of can just go, but if you want to go somewhere like Russia, you have to be invited.
Oh, really? Have you ever had any difficulty attaining a visa anywhere?
Oh, well, in Cambodia it was a little bit difficult just because people try and sell you fake visas.
Really?
But we got the right one eventually.
Okay, now, when you say people are trying to sell you fake visas, we see a lot of stuff with like the movie Taken, and we hear a lot of things in the news about traveling being a very dangerous thing. Do you feel as if that's ever been reflected in your journeys?
You know, it definitely can be dangerous, and there's situations that I've been in that could have gone to kind of negative places, but I find if you kind of just laugh and I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying, and make sure you're really aware of where you are and who you're with. I've never had anything stolen or anything really go wrong.
Oh, really? Nothing even stolen?
Nope.
That's very impressive. What would you say is probably the most dangerous situation you have been in?
You know, in Colombia, we were taking a cab back from this volcano in Cartagena, and the cab driver, I was trying to practice my Spanish, and I think he thought I was being very friendly, and he became very friendly and put his hand on my leg and started saying things and gesturing, and it was kind of like, oh, did we say we wanted to go back to the harbor? We want to go to this beach here now.
Yeah.
Can you let us out? So that was a little like...
Well, it sounds as if you were able to survive the situation.
Yes.
Like you said, just be aware of it and be able to get out of there without anything too serious.
No.
Obviously, you haven't come across anything horrible because you are here sitting with us now.
Yes.
So we're going to be going to commercials in just a quick little moment here. We're going to be having some more questions with Sarah Anderson on OC Spotlight after these messages. So don't touch that remote. We'll be here with a big question right when we get back. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Charles Myers, and I'm a professor here at Saddleback College, and I teach the film production classes where you actually get to go out and make movies.
We have script writing instructors, editing instructors who are all working professionals. This is a huge benefit for the students.
It's all about giving you guys familiarity with this equipment so that you can go out and get jobs actually in the field. Hopefully, sometime you'll come in, join us here at Saddleback, and become part of the greatness that is happening here at Saddleback College.
Saddleback College has always prided itself on being a very hands-on educational experience.
The whole premise of our classes in our department and the training and the equipment we buy, the reason that we have the latest in high definition technology, the reason that we use industry standard lighting and audio, so that you can go out and get jobs actually in the field.
Welcome back to OC Spotlight. I'm with world traveler Sarah Anderson. Now, Sarah, the big question that's on everybody's mind: how do you afford these trips?
Ooh, well, I was lucky to have a flexible job, so I could leave and come and go as I wished. But I save, and I work when I'm in town, because instead of going out and having a drink here, I save it up. Yeah. So when I'm abroad, I can do it.
Now, isn't it expensive to stay over there in foreign countries?
You know, it actually, when I do the math sometimes for Southern California, this summer it was cheaper for me to pay $50 in storage and just cancel my phone, cancel everything, and live abroad.
Yeah, so it's actually cheaper to live abroad sometimes than it is
Depending
to
on
live
where
here
you are.
in lovely Orange County.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Now, you also said that you work. Does that mean just when you are here, you're working like 50, 60 hours a week, or do you find jobs when you're abroad as well?
I typically work every day here. But that's because I love what I do. I get paid to go whale watching and stuff like that. But I also find jobs abroad.
Is it fairly easy to find jobs abroad?
You know, I think it just depends on who you are. I talk to people everywhere I go. I'm pretty outgoing. And I had a lady offer me a job on the subway my first day in Taiwan.
Really?
And then other times I've applied for jobs.
Now, are these jobs like a variation, or I know you mentioned teaching a little bit?
It's mostly been teaching. I mean, I was able to dance for some of it, but I think pretty much it's been tutoring or teaching English.
So a variety of skills kind of was able to help do it all?
Yes, because this summer I taught theater.
Oh, well, there you go. So what do you think some of your key points to success are?
I think the biggest point is just to do it. A lot of people talk about how much they want to travel, but they never buy the ticket, and also to plan ahead. But I think mostly, in addition to those things, is to save your money. I don't go out shopping all the time, and I do work a lot while I'm here.
So do you have any big trips coming up?
Well, a friend of mine just moved to Africa, so that's kind of on the table, but I'm thinking I'll probably go back to Russia and maybe check out Scandinavia next summer.
Nice. All right, so we're going to be wrapping up in just a little bit here. Any last bits of advice you'd like to give any potential travelers out there?
Oh, I would say just take the leap. The scariest part of it is if you have to go by yourself, just buying the ticket, planning the trip. And I have travel tips on my blog.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming, Sarah. I'm Evan Anderson with OC Spotlight. Thank you.
Playing with my friends. It's such a wonderful, wonderful world. It's a wonderful world.
Hello and welcome to Saddleback College. I'm your host, Nick Escalante on Channel 39 here at Saddleback Studios. On today's show, we have a very special guest, Aaron Sly, a local drift racer. How are you doing today, Aaron?
Doing great, thanks for asking.
Thanks for coming out today. So let's get right into it. What defines drifting as a sport?
As a sport, it's kind of a fairly new sport. It's around 11 to 12 years old, like here in the States. And it's more of a judge sport. So you have depending on how many judges, 3 to 5 judges.
Right.
And it's scored on proximity, speed, angle sometimes. Well, yeah, mostly angle and sometimes speed. And you have clipping points set out around the track, what they call zones. And you either want to get the front of your car or the back of your car in those zones as close as you can without hitting the clipping points. And that maximizes your score, and getting the highest score helps you later on in the event.
All right, that sounds pretty gnarly. So let's watch a video of that right now. And we're back. So wow, that's some really cool stuff right there. What's your technique? Like, I know it's not just jamming the e-brake and spinning the wheel. What do you do?
Well, it kind of starts with your mindset. Being like calm and not rush when you're in the car is always better. But really, it's just how you're set up the car into the corner is kind of like how it all starts, because it really starts with the first corner. And just throttle control and steering control is really the main things in drifting. Like, usually you would think it's a lot more in the steering, but really it's a lot more in the throttle than anything.
Right. So changing gears, right?
Yeah, shifting, e-brake, clutch, gas, brake. Sometimes you're braking with your left foot and on the gas with your right foot. There's quite a bit of techniques to get in your car where you want it.
That sounds like a lot of work. What kind of car do you use?
I use a 1995 Nissan 240SX S14. It's a really popular car in drifting. A lot of people use it based off that being a lot of parts around. A lot of people know about them, so it's easy to, if you need advice with stuff, everything's kind of around you.
So the market's like there for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about your sponsors and your team.
My team is really just me and my dad. When we're at the event, it's just me and him and my family that comes out and supports. And also a few sponsors, Falcon Tire, a fabrication shop that we wouldn't be here today without them, called Unique Fabrication, and also like a clothing company that's based off the East Coast called Get Lucky. He kind of like saw me when I was building my car last year.
Right.
Well, me and my dad building it, and he saw that I was so young, and he's like, man, I'd like to put my name on the car or something, the brand. So that was really cool.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break. We're gonna be back in about a minute with some more tire smoking questions.
Hi, my name is Charles Myers, and I'm a professor here at Saddleback College, and I get to teach the film production classes, the one where you actually get to go out and make movies. The first thing that really sets Saddleback's film production classes apart from all the others is the fact that it's enormously emphasized on building job skills. And the whole premise of our classes in our department and the training and the equipment we buy, the reason that we have the latest in high definition technology, the reason that we use industry standard lighting and audio, it's all about giving you guys familiarity with this equipment so that you can go out and get jobs actually in the field. And we're hoping to continuously repeat the success, not only with the next picture that we got going, but also with the pictures that you'll be making here over the next few years.
Thank you for staying tuned during the break. I'm Nick, and this is Aaron, a local drift racer. So Aaron, what made you want to start drifting? What made you want to burn some rubber on the track?
Well, I got into it because of a friend of mine that I saw his video on YouTube, and it really just got me hooked on the sport. I've known about the sport like for a long time, and I've known what it was, but I didn't think it was really possible for someone like as young as my friend was at the time. He was about 17, and I was 15, so I was like, maybe I could actually do it. He made it seem possible for me, so that's the whole reason I got into it.
How how far like have you gotten these drifting events? I mean, you started out like pretty young.
Yeah, I mean, the farthest I've gone was a 5th place finish, which was actually in Colorado. But it's just kind of based on how you do throughout the event, which can really like set up how you're going to finish in the end. I qualified 3rd that event, and I finished in the bracket of grade 8. So I was the highest qualifier in that bracket, so they gave me the 5th place for that. So really, depending on how you do throughout the whole event is kind of what you'll end up with at the end.
Right. So you're saying it's like you said it before, it's more like a competition. It's not like a race.
Yeah, it's not so much a race. People call it like a race, like, oh, how'd your race go? But I mean, I've just gotten used to it, and I just kind of, it went good. But I mean, it's, like I said, it's a judge sport, and I mean, it kind of depends on how you do throughout it, and it's kind of a battle. You could put it as a battle.
So where do these events play out? Like, where do you go for these?
There's quite a bit locally in one series that I compete in, Top Drift. Those are all in Lancaster, California. And then I do another series called Southwest Drift. And they're based out of Vegas, but they travel to Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado. So depending on the series, you can go pretty far.
Really quick, what's next for you? What's the future for you right now?
Right now, just off season, trying to build a crazy car for next year to hopefully get me to a Pro 2 license for the following year, and just see as far as I can go. Really, just chasing a dream.
Just keep building the car. Just keep great. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great.
So, right before we leave, right now, is there anything else you want to say really fast?
Just thanks to my dad. Really, if it wasn't for him, I would have nothing. So really, just thanks my dad and
that's great.
And everyone.
That's really cool. All right, well that's all the time we have on OC Spotlight here on Saddleback College. Thank you, Aaron, for joining us today, and we hope you had a great time.
Hello and welcome to Orange County. It's your host, David Berger, for OC Spotlight on Channel 39. On tonight's showcase, we have a very special guest. Live in our studio, it's Anna Marie Kobos, a librarian with the Saddleback College Library. Thank you for joining us, Anna Maria.
Thanks so much, David, for having me today.
Anna Maria is involved with some interesting work at the college, and so we asked her to share that work with you. Her bio includes a Master of Library Science and Master of Arts from UCLA, and a long list of leadership and volunteer roles. One of the many projects that I've worked on is archiving the history of Saddleback College. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. This started out as a project that a couple of other colleagues started back in 2001. They realized that we were losing faculty that had been here in the early years through retirement mostly, and they decided to interview those founding faculty and administrators, and they interviewed them on video and then turned those videos into a transcript and produced a book. And then along a few years later, the president of the college approached me to add to that initial effort and come up with volume 2. So after several different tries of trying to make a book out of it, I ended up creating a website, and I have interviewed many faculty members who retired after that initial set of 40, and I am committed to continue the project, and just a couple of weeks ago we interviewed 4 or 5 more to add to the website. So the website is ongoing, adding new resources as they become available.
That's great. So how do you get involved in this project?
Well, it was as a result of that early work that Julie Brady Jenner and Lynn Wells did. There's another connection through the Friends of the Library, because those books that were created and those videos were given to the Friends of the Library as fundraisers. And we just had these boxes and boxes of VHSs and books. And at some point, I'd get creative and try to sell them to the college community by sending messages saying that they're available. And in one of those opportunities, the president of the college bought over 100 of them, because he told me he'd like to give those away as a way to promote the college. Through that experience is how later on it came to his head that he wanted the history of the college further developed by creating additional resources.
So in general, what would you say that or what efforts are going into preserving the history?
Well, the effort is that one, which I call an informal effort. It's informal history because it's through oral history, through recollections of the individuals that were here. The other effort is more of the formal history, and that's, for years we've been trying to create the college digital archive. And as a result of technology changes, it's now made much more easy, it's much more possible to do a project like that. And the project that we're going to start with is the Lariat, to digitize the Lariat, the college newspaper.
That's nice. So we're about to wrap up here for a bit for our commercial break. So coming up soon, we'll be talking more about the Lariat. So stay tuned here at Saddleback College at Channel 39.
Hi, my name is Charles Myers, and I'm a professor here at Saddleback College, and I teach the film production classes where you actually get to go out and make movies.
We have script writing instructors, editing instructors, who are all working professionals. This is a huge benefit for the students.
It's all about giving you guys familiarity with this equipment so that you can go out and get jobs actually in the field. Hopefully, sometime you'll come in, join us here at Saddleback, and become part of the greatness that is happening here at Saddleback College.
Saddleback College has always prided itself on being a very hands-on educational experience.
The whole premise of our classes in our department and the training and the equipment we buy, the reason that we have the latest in high definition technology, the reason that we use industry standard lighting and audio, so that you can go out and get jobs actually in the field.
Welcome back, Orange County. I'm your host, David Berger, and we were talking to Anna Maria about the Lariat. So can you tell us a little bit more about the Lariat?
Well, the Lariat is the college newspaper that goes back to 1968. And we have in the library the only hard copies of the newspaper bound into these big books. And that paper becomes brittle over time, so it is necessary to convert that into a digital format. So we're getting close to getting that project going, and that will be the heart, really, of the college digital history, or I'm sorry, the digital archive website.
So who helps you in the efforts to get all this archiving?
Oh, there are a lot of people. For the College History Project, it was Mark Crewman, Michael Martinez, of course the writers of that original book and video, Julie Brady Jenner and Lynn Wells. Other colleagues like Cheryl Altman, Jenny McHugh, instrumental, and of course the president, whose idea it was to further develop the college history resources.
So have you gotten any recognition on this project so far?
Oh yes, there have been a lot of people that have responded very positively. I did a presentation at one of the college in-services about the college history website, and periodically I get these emails out of nowhere, people that have seen it and want to find out more, want to find out about a particular individual, so it's been very rewarding.
That's great. We also appreciate your efforts into archiving the history of Saddleback College.
Well, thanks very much. I appreciate it too.
So just because you've archived the history of Saddleback College, have you heard any juicy stories?
There is one that I don't think people today really know about. Back when the college was founded in 1967-68, that first school year, there was a dress code. There was a dress code and there was a hair code. So believe it or not, when students were registering, the professors that were assisting in the registration process would check the dress of the students applying as well as the hair. And if it didn't meet the standards, then they'd have to do something about it.
So thank you very much, Anna Marie. We're wrapping up. Can you give our audience the contact information that they can reach you?
There is a website, and you can go to www.saddleback.edu/college-history. Thanks very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Orange County.